I'm so excited to chat with you, and I just want to let you know too, I got your book. It's so
Oh,
beautiful. I
good.
love the cover. It's gorgeous.
A great job on it.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah. Okay. So if you could just start out by telling a little bit about yourself and your writing and kind of how you got started, that would be a great place to start, I think.
So I originally am from, I mean, actually originally grew up in Arizona. I lived in the West through all of my childhood. I now live in Virginia. I've been
Cool.
here most of my adult life. Um, but I started writing, my first book came out in 2004. And it took me probably like, I don't know, 6, 7 years to write.
Oh,
Kind
wow.
of
Yeah.
just mostly, I spend most of my time writing. I'm a full-time author, and I'm putting it between two, four, five a year.
Oh, wow. Oh my goodness, that's awesome. So are you indie or are you trad or
I'm
both?
traditional.
Okay.
I've only done traditional. Yeah, the only thing I've done indie are I've done a couple of like fundraisers
Oh, sure.
where like they've done some fundraiser anthologies. So those are the only ones
Sure.
I've done that have been on the indie side of things. And luckily there's always been another indie author who took the lead and is just like, Traci, give us your edited book or story. I was like, hey, I can do that.
That's
So,
awesome.
so yeah,
That's
and I guess
wonderful.
the other thing my back a lot of times people get a little fascinated by is my traditional career before I became a full time author was I was with the CIA, so that was
Oh,
my other kind of
very
unique
cool.
background aspect.
Yes.
Yeah,
And so a lot of your stories have to do with kind of a little bit of like, there's a little bit of like thrillerish feel to it a little bit too.
yeah,
And do you
yeah.
kind of pull from your past experience? Probably not, I mean, not sharing like things that actually happen or maybe being inspired by some things, but yeah, do you pull from that some?
I mean, I think I've mostly just the general aspect and how the world works, than more than individual things. I mean, I've had a couple of incidents that I've pieces out of. The funny thing is, when I first started, every time I used anything from real life, my editor came back and said, "Sorry, this is too unrealistic. You have to change this every single time." And it wasn't
Seriously.
until like my fourth or yeah, my I think it was my fifth book. Somebody they said something about it. And I was like, "Look, other than the fact that in real life I had a gun in my purse and my character didn't, what is the problem? Like, I don't understand the fact. This exact same happened. But the funny thing was, the was one that happened before I joined the CIA. Like, it was something that happened to me when I was a 17-year-old. So,
Wow.
so the but I was like, well, it's not very realistic for a 17-year-old to be sitting in Caracas, Venezuela, with a gun in her purse and having some of these things happen. And so I changed a little bit and put it into the CIA element and age the character, and they're like, no, this would never happen. I was like, I don't understand.
Yeah, it's like
So
it
they
did
finally,
happen. It did.
yeah, we finally like into terms of what their real issue was with a character reaction. I'm like, I can change that. I'm like, changing the scene was too much fun. So
Oh,
anyway, yeah, it's
funny.
just been really crazy. Like, and I actually had a recent one where one that I'm just getting ready to submit that had some basis in truth, and trying to make it plausible
Oh,
where it sounds like it's real,
yeah.
because it's one of those things where you're like, yeah, this didn't really happen. It happens to me more often than people realize, that trying to make it realistic, truth really is stranger than fiction.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, no kidding.
And usually, the one thing I've been very fortunate about is that by the time my editors and I are done, usually it's plausible enough for people who are like, okay, some people will say, okay, that Traci's kind of skirting that line in reality and believability and stuff. Usually, I write with enough of authority that they're like, I'm gonna suspend reality
Oh,
and believe
sure.
it.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's cool though. I love that you pull from some of that experience and that you also kind of change it up a little here and there too. That's really fun.
yeah,
That's cool. And then so this is kind of a question that authors love and hate. So for inspiration, where do you get your inspiration?
I mean, for me, it's really everyday life. Um, I lived in Virginia, so I'm on a coast. So like, it was quite comical. The other day, I was texting the girlfriend who's another author, and I said, "Well, it's really nice of Co to give me the sound effects for the gun battle that I'm writing right now, because I'm literally hearing AK-74s going off on the range,
Oh, that's so
as they're doing
funny.
as a practice." And
Yeah.
um, and so I was like, okay, yeah, that's just, I can picture it. And I
Yeah.
actually had years ago, I'd written a scene where a woman she was like, had come back from after a traumatic experience, and she was living, back to her home. And I put her in my town, and she wakes up thinking that she's under attack, like kind of a PTSD. I think she hears the bomb ordnance going off the base, and it takes her a minute.
Oh,
Oh, wait, it's okay, I'm safe,
yeah.
But that it happens. I've had a few friends have that happen where, okay, they came off the battlefield, but it's all right. It's just an exercise.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's, you know, I mean, like the FBI Academy is on Quantico, so we have a lot of the FBI. Some of the instructors will go to church with me. Sometimes
Yeah.
the baby agents will be in with us and
Oh,
things like
cool.
that. So it's just, I'm just seeing these people all the time.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's awesome. And it's so inspiring too to hear like I mean, to talk to all different types of authors and to hear their stories and like the experience with like CIA, FBI, and like,
Yeah,
PTSD to like, someone waking up and like, "Oh my gosh, what is that?" like um a lot of people there's a lot of people in the world who do not have any experience with that. So, hearing that
right.
or hearing firsthand stories and everything about that is quite intriguing. So, when it comes to getting inspired by that and also writing like you have being a female, having been in the CIA and probably knowing many other women that are there and also in the FBI, because there's a lot of books and stuff that are written by men who are, kind of
Yeah,
like the thriller mystery, um,
yep,
and whatnot. So being a woman, what have you found that, being in the space, and it's an awesome space to be because there needs to be more women in this space, but it's so cool that you have that experience and that you're writing in this space. So can you talk about that a little bit?
writing in the thriller genre is a little unique in that they're most big names. A lot of the big names, especially the ones who've been around for a bit longer, are men.
Right.
um but I have to say, the men that I have worked with, they're really awesome guys.
They
Like, they
are.
have been so supportive of me.
Good.
I mean, like, I have a book. Well, actually, it's right here. So Victim Number 8 comes out in October,
Yes.
and both all of the people who endorsed it were men. It
Oh,
was
that's
like
awesome. I love it.
Brad Thor, Alex Finley, Stewart, Luke Beneke. So it's these guys are all, you know, you look at like Alex Finley and Brad Thor. I mean, those the guys in my genre, they're big
They
names,
are
and they're
huge.
just
Yeah.
nice. And they're just very generous. Now, everyone doesn't. Brad have a funny little story of how I to his rescue in the situation, and I think this was kind of a returning the scenario, but it was but then, like, Alex, I'd taken a master class with him, and he said, I mean, the group, he's like, hey, anyone who needs endorsement, if you get to the point, let me know. And as we're walking out, Alex, I always need an endorsement. Do you seriously be willing? He's like, yeah, I would totally do that. And so I I ran into him at a conference. It's just like, okay, what I would love for you to do, I think it would be the best bet would be this. And he's like, just, this is when I need to, how long I need for a lead time and all
Mm.
that. So honestly, I know that some people have I experienced on occasion in the CIA where you are going to have that a woman's talking and I'm not going to listen because you're a woman.
Oh, yep.
But I had far more people that the men I've worked with be more like, oh, you're a friend, I'm going to protect her, and trying to put down.
That's good.
Sadly, I'm not the only. everyone doesn't experiences, but overall, I've just really had a wonderful environment with the people that I've associated with.
Oh, wow. That is just wonderful and good to hear. And then when you're starting a new project and you're working on a new book, do you feel like the character comes to you first or the plot?
Um, Probably the character, kind of. I
Okay.
am the world's worst when it comes to plot is a four-letter word that I don't know how to use. Um,
That's funny.
so I'm a complete display writer, pantser, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And so usually I try with a couple of like the names of my main characters, and I usually will have like my normal comment is turn a keyboard. That's kind of how I start.
Okay.
So I start with my character. I don't know them well until the story progresses, and then I have to kind of go back and fill in with the details because I don't really know who they are.
Okay.
So usually they'll like a name and a career, and then we'll kind of figure out where the setting starts. And that's kind of all I have.
Okay.
I don't even always have the setting when I start, quite honestly.
Oh, wow,
So
really? Okay. Well, that is really cool though. That's so you kind of just start out with the characters and then you kind of get to know the plot as you're writing and the characters more so, and then you have to go back and kind of add what you learned about the characters more to fill in the blank.
yeah,
That's
yeah, and I guess I probably have a basic premise, but the career kind of dictates what the premise will end up being. So I can't always know what's going to happen. It's like I have a joke. I truly do have a bomb problem. Like I can't figure out what's going to go on. There's probably a bomb that'll show up. So anyway,
I love that. I love that. So if anyone's reading and a bomb came up, you were probably at that point, right?
yes, I was like, where did this come from? So yeah.
Oh,
So
funny.
and
Can you talk a little bit too about what a day in the life of writer Traci is like?
I mean, on when everything's kind of going the way it really does, and this year's normal, but my typical is I get up on the treadmill and I have this old fashioned board or so I actually write while on the treadmill.
Oh, cool.
And then a lot of times I'll kind of move from that to I have an exercise bike that has a desk on it. And so a lot of times I'll move to that and do like another 45 minutes, just really chill, like not
Uh-huh.
fast. And then it's mostly like, okay, let me work on, grab something to eat, get my day started or whatever, and do maybe catch up on social media, that type of thing. And then usually I'll have another afternoon writing soon. So sometimes you'll have thrown in like this of like, okay, I've got some a podcast recording or an
Hmm.
interview or a blog post that I need, guest blog post or something like that.
Right.
Sometimes I'll have meetings with marketing directors or such. But I mean, ideally, I try to get like 2,000 words written a day.
Okay.
And then if I have, I hired one of my daughters works as one of my basically as an editorial assistant.
Oh, cool.
I have edits and proofreads come in because that's kind of the system is, I write it, I submit it, and then it needs to be go through an edit and proofread and all that. And it's multiple edit levels. Like I have
Hmm.
it edited before I submit it, things like that. So
Yeah.
so I could be like right now I've just finished two proofreads. I have a edit that's waiting on me. I have a book that I'm trying to prep for submission, another one I need to write this month. So
Wow.
it's
Okay.
not uncommon to touch like 4 or 5 projects in the same day.
Wow.
So like I have one team that's I have a book that came out today. I have another book that will come out that I'm ready to launch. I have another one, that literally the launch team start like today or next week. So
Wow.
I
Okay.
because that's so many releases, just it really there's a lot of overlap of I don't really have a typical day because I don't know what's due when.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome though. It sounds like I mean, sounds like you have a lot of projects going at the same time and everything. And so
Yeah.
what advice do you have for other authors out there who have their hands in many buckets and many hats on their head? what advice do you have for not like going crazy?
Well, I think the things I do is I actually have a spreadsheet that's just my project list. It's like
Oh,
I have a list of every project I have, and I make a list like this project, these intended projects will take, this is going to be 10 weeks to draft, and
hmm.
granted, keep in mind, I've been doing this for over 20 years. So
Right,
please, new authors, do not expect it to take 10 weeks to draft a book.
right,
Most people will take maybe a year,
right.
or 6 months or whatever. But then I'll have like, okay, during this, in addition to this, I'm going to need a week to edit or 2 weeks to edit. I'm going to need half a week to do the proofread. I'm going to need, so I'll just kind of go through the things, and I have them by category, color code them. I was like, all right, this is done. This one's in progress. But then I can kind of see that, yes, I'm planning on 70 weeks worth of work in a 52-week year. So somewhere 18 weeks is going to be a problem.
Right.
And I'll also list like all my travel, and it's
Oh,
like, well, maybe I
sure.
can double up and do, like for example, I went out to visit my grandkids and had two proofreads going on. And so I was like, all right, I can probably get one of these proofreads done while I'm, like at night when I'm, or when the kids are napping or whatever. And
Right.
then on the plane, I can do another one. So it's just, I took a week, but I only take a week, thing. But I think the other thing is knowing every author is different. Like what works in my brain is not going to work in somebody else's. And so
Mhm.
like that's one thing I tell every time I go to a writer's conference, and conferences are great places to make
Mm.
connections. And it's like everything you learn, keep in mind that that's somebody's opinion.
Mm.
And well, a lot of the craft is very like, hey, you probably don't want to do this. This isn't really an accepted format or things like that.
Yep.
Generally, the process of creating is individual to everybody. And so you pick a few things that are golden nuggets you work for you, and if it doesn't work for you, then you throw it and find a new nugget that might be better. So
Mm.
and with the same person. I used to only write at night. Then I do better now if I write first thing in the morning. Um, so it's just, again, it can totally change life.
Wonderful.
Everyone's life is constantly changing.
Right, right. And when do you start your writing in the morning? Like about what time do you kind of get up and start writing?
It depends how much time's I'm on at the moment.
Right.
I mean, I'm starting by like 7 or 8 in the morning.
Hmm.
Lately it's been more like 10 or 11. I'd be okay. I need to get started because I was staying up super late to maybe deal with some other things. But then if I'm
Right.
dealing with Europe, sometimes I'm like, oh, I have people I need to talk to, and it'd be easier to do it like 6 a.m. because that's noon and I can catch them on their lunch hour.
Ah, there you
So it it really can vary a lot.
go.
So
Okay. That is
like
so
tomorrow will be an early morning. I'll be like out the door at 7. So
okay. So it kind of changes every day, kind of depending on what you need to work
yeah,
on or what the day looks like or what projects need to be
yeah,
done. That's cool.
exactly.
So then like you've got your spreadsheet and that's kind of like what you follow for the day in the week. So like on the weekends, do you kind of look at that and to plan your whole week or do you just look at it the day before or how do you do that?
I mean, ideally things going the way it should, then normally like one day I'll just sit down and I'll like pull out a white, like, all right, this is what I have. Like I'm doing this on Tuesday. I'm doing this. And erase things and really, okay, this task is
Mm,
still on this, been done already. Um, but yeah, ideally I try to look the week before, and then I'll check like every night. I'll be like, have tomorrow. Um,
okay.
it's because one of the challenges is especially when you're creating a new story,
Hmm.
is so easy to get lost in it.
Oh,
And so I'll
totally.
have constant alarms on my phone, like, at 45 minutes before I'm with you, I was like, oh, don't forget, in case I like got totally, 45 minutes time to still go grab a shower if I'm up and I'm like, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm still in my pajamas or whatever. So, because sometimes I do, I'm like, oh, this character is like not gonna let me go. I get this scene down before I lose it. And
Oh,
that is the challenge of being a discovery writer because
yeah.
I didn't plot it. And if I
Ah,
don't write it now, it's not going to be the same as what I wanted it to be.
yeah.
So,
Oh my goodness. I love that. I love how you said that, Tracy, because it's just like, even if you don't know how the story's really gonna go, and the
yeah.
twists and turns, you're kind of like figuring it out as you're writing it. And it's almost like, when you're reading a really good book and it's a page turner and you're like, oh, what's gonna happen? So it's kind of cool
Yep.
when you say that, it's easy to get lost with your time, where I'm sure those timers do help.
Oh, yeah.
Since we're on a road trip right now, if you were to go on a road trip, what is the number one book that you would bring with you? It's a book that maybe you've returned to throughout the years. It's a really hard question because, of course,
Mm.
writers, we love to read, right?
That is really hard. I have to say that's really hard. Because
Yes.
I read so many different books. One of the ones that have, believe it or not, that I've been most inspired by, it's nonfiction,
Okay.
is it's an old book. It's called Up from Slavery by Booker T. Washington. And
Okay.
it's just one of the ones that's always inspired me because he put so much emphasis on education
Mm.
and also just being a contributing member to your society. But
Yep.
it's kind of that always I bought that book probably a dozen times and then gave it to other people. And so I don't even know
Oh,
if I have a copy other than on my Kindle anymore.
funny.
But
And that
yeah,
title was what again?
from slavery.
Okay, cool. Yes, that book of his. Very cool. Yeah, I haven't read it. I know I've heard of it and definitely want to read it though, but that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's just one of those, it was his autobiography, but it was somebody who, I mean, he was literally, born into slavery, and I think he was
Mhm.
7 years old when slavery was abolished. But he was. It's kind of fun for me because I live about an hour north of Richmond,
Right.
and that is where he went to school originally, and was
Wow.
sleeping under the elevated sidewalks to keep warm because he didn't have a home, but he was willing to sacrifice in order to go to school. And it's like to think it's just a reminder of wow, we do have some amazing opportunities in this country,
I do.
and it's just a reminder that not to forget where we come.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh, I have goosebumps now that you're saying that. It's just like that is so good and I love that. So thank you for saying that and saying that book. I'm definitely gonna have to read it. And I know that it's a dearly beloved book. And also it's a good reminder, yeah, to see like where we come from and to not forget that. And also having that American dream, being able to come from, little to become, you know, pulling up your bootstraps and actually
Yeah,
becoming successful and making it. So it's super exciting.
yeah.
So you're in Virginia, and if people were to come to Virginia, what would you tell them they
Hmm.
definitely have to go and see, if they were doing a road trip or vacation?
I mean, most people come here to see. Like we're just because we're right next to sea. Mount
Yep.
Vernon is a favorite spot. Um, that is always a great one. People who are driving through the state in different areas and stuff. The Marine Corps Museum is actually one of those hidden treasures.
Hey.
It's at Quantico,
Okay.
um, but it's one of those that it shows. It's kind of cool because it goes by war, like and different peace times and stuff, so you can see what the different pieces are of the national history. And of course, it's from the war's point of view,
Right.
um, it's amazing. It's an amazing. And it was funny because I always say that it was a complete atrocity. I didn't love the architecture of it. It's kind of grown on me, but it's built based on the flag that they put at the top after Hiroshima.
Oh,
But um,
yeah.
but it's just a really cool area. Old Town Alexandria is one of my favorite spots. That's another like Founders Park and just walking through some of the old areas there. And then of course I can't remember the name of it, but down in North they have like an old naval vessel to go on and see
Oh,
like and
cool.
things like that. So that's another kind of fun area. So I mean, there's so much. I mean, it's we make the joke about how in most states people have in their school system during high school you normally have to take a state class.
Oh, yep.
Well, That's not true in Virginia because it's US history.
Oh,
This is where history happens. Like if
right.
when other people are just studying their US history, they're studying a lot of Virginia history.
Mm,
So it's kind of cool. We don't have to.
right.
It's all in their US history.
That's so funny. I love that. And yeah, like you said, it's kind of like where the country sort of started off, right? One of the
Yep.
areas.
We
That's
have a lot of, oh, and actually that's another thing. We've got all sorts of presidential homes in addition, like Montpelier and
right.
Monticello too. So,
Oh, very cool. I love that area. They're so beautiful.
oh yeah,
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've been out there, but it was beautiful. I still remember it. I was in high school and it was so beautiful.
it is definitely gorgeous.
Oh, it is. It's a beautiful state,
Well, I
definitely.
think the other thing too is that when you look, like from an author perspective, a lot of times, authors, there's the old way of saying, write what you know.
Yes.
And a lot of times people are like, okay, well, I want to, I need to write different locations and stuff. And it's like, well, to some extent you do, but in other ways, like I've written heavily, based in Virginia,
Yep.
because there's other authors who are writing from what they know, and they know
Right.
different things too. So it's like we're putting out, and I do a lot of like national as well. I mean, like Victor number said in Turkey, it has Turkey in it,
Okay.
but it's because I come from the intelligence, I come from the DC politic,
Yeah.
realm and stuff. It's everyone doesn't have that ground, so it's easy for
Right.
me to use that, use different pieces of it consistently. Then of
Yes.
course I've written characters who are from Arizona because that's where I'm originally from. It isn't hard to write somebody who like a condo in California. I've written from that perspective. The entertainment industry, because that's where my sister worked. So it's interesting how much you can borrow from people
Yes.
but
I love
you
that.
really can do so much more when you're writing what you have experienced yourself. I mean, you know what it's like, what it sounds like, what it tastes like,
Yep.
and I mean, Northern Virginia, get grits, but you're not going to necessarily get them, going to look down on you. Why aren't you eating grits? That go down an hour south, where are the grits, like, so we're just like there's California is two states. It's Northern and Southern California.
Right.
Virginia is kind of the same way. We're
Int
Northern Virginia and Southern Virginia,
Okay.
and all states aren't like that.
Right.
A lot of states it's like you have different regions, but for mine, you have the people who are working in the DC world,
Okay.
and you the rest of the state.
Oh, that's so
So
funny. That is so cool.
yeah,
I just feel like I could talk to you forever. Like it's just so much fun chatting with you. I feel like we should
you
definitely
too.
chat more often. This is just so much fun. And can you share where people can find out about you and your books so they can head over and support you?
So, I mean, the easiest way to find me is just my website is traciabramson.com. And of course, I'm on Amazon. I'm on Instagram. It's just at Traci Abramson. So I'm in all the places.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, it was so lovely to chat with you, Tracy, and I can't wait to chat again sometime soon. It'd be a lot of fun.
All right. Thanks so much. Have a
Yeah.
good one.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks for riding shotgun on the romance reading road trip. I'm so excited for you to be joining this journey with us. Be sure to go down to the video description below and sign up for the passport. You're not going to want to miss out on it.